What's good with y'all boys? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're gonna chop it up about one of my favorite pastimes. One of the side effects of being on BodyGame, right? So, as I said before, we are in a time where dudes that are on BodyGame are a scarcity. And as a result, you will have an effect on people that are not accustomed to seeing dudes that's on BodyGame. So we gotta put some foundations down before we get into the video, right? So before there's a chop man epidemic, before there's a lonely man epidemic, which is not real, by the way. Loneliness epidemic ain't real. It's just a byproduct of niggas being chopped. But before we have the chop man epidemic and the loneliness epidemic, before everything else, we have a lack of masculinity epidemic, right? The first step of masculinity is being on BodyGame, taking yourself serious, holding yourself accountable. If you're not holding yourself accountable, you ain't gonna hold shit else accountable. It's that simple, right? So, one of my favorite pastimes, right? Side effect of being on BodyGame is causing chicks to realize that they're actually straight, right? A scenario and a lot of situations that I've come to realize and see recently is that there's an increasing number of females that claim that they are les but have kids. Like, how does that work? Did you not know that you was les before you had the kid? Like, did you just slip and fall on a stick and end up with a kid? Like, how does that work? I had even gotten into a little debate with a chick on Facebook because she was reposting stuff about how she loved girls so much, but she got a kid. I was like, yo, girls, slow down posting all that BS. What you mean? Like, it's cool if you love girls and stuff, but you can't have a kid with a girl. So, shorty, how did that happen? And she got so mad, it's like I broke her delusion or whatever. She blocked me. Of course, I'm not tripping because I stay grounded in reality. Like, if you want to get mad over facts, have yourself the field day. I sleep good at night. So, what I've begun to realize is that because there's a lack of masculinity, chicks are getting with dudes because, like, they don't really got no other option. Like, if 10% of the dudes in town are on BodyGame, that means the other 90% of dudes are not on BodyGame and they're not that masculine. And if a chick can't get at one of the dudes that's in the 10% and she's not naturally attracted to chicks or doesn't think she is, she's gonna have to settle for a dude that's not on BodyGame, right? As a result of going through that experience, chicks realize, yo, this is not it. This dude is feminine. He acts like a woman. He whines, bitches, complains, moans. He has a gut. He doesn't work out. He's not masculine. And they look at the situation and they're like, if this is what I'm dealing with, I might as well just deal with another female because at least she's going to understand me. And that's where they go. So, in today's video, or tonight's video, we're going to talk about how when you're on BodyGame, you can steal girls from bikes, right? I say bike because you can't see the other word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The bike is the one that wears the baseball cap backwards and sags their pants, but they're not a dude. Interpret that how you will. So, an incident I had the other day, right, was in contact with a little shorty. She is what you would call the femme in her relationship with a bike. And she a little overweight. She caught a little attitude with your boy, being a little smart. So I had to check her, I had to put her in her place. What I did, I scooped her overweight ass right up off the ground. Cause I'm on body game, I can do that. Scooped her ass up off the ground. And I said, you better apologize or I'm gonna put you somewhere where you're gonna get stuck. She said, oh my God. Don't do that. If you put me down, put me there, I'll never get down. I'm laughing in my head because I'm like, what you mean if I put you there, you're never gonna get down? Is that how big you is? Like, it was funny. I ain't gonna cap. But she apologized. So I put her ass down. She was like, oh my God. A white shorty, by the way, right? After the fact, she talking about it with her homegirls. And she said, never in my life have I ever been manhandled like that. Ever since that day, she turned from a shorty that would be a little snarky, attitudistic, to completely submissive. Please, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. All with the flip of a switch. You know what happened? She said never in her life has someone manhandled her like that. Which means not even the bike that she's currently in a relationship with, whatever they're doing, obviously can't manhandle her, because you can't manhandle when you're a woman. So ever since that day, completely, it's like I flipped a switch. All that masculine, feminine shit out the window. The feminine came in and it drenched the room. It drenched the place. It made it soaked. She's going. She's 100% going. Am I gonna slide? Not right now. I'm occupied. I'm too busy for that shit. But it is an option in the future. I will do it just because I'm petty, right? It's funny. When chicks come in contact with a masculine dude, it stimulates something in their primal instincts where it's like, wait, all these soft ass soy boys that I've been dealing with were not real, but this nigga's the truth. When you show up and you're on body game, your physicality demonstrates nothing but the truth. When fat niggas show up and they try to act masculine, they're demonstrating a lie. I show up, I don't gotta say a goddamn word. I am the truth. So, I'll tell y'all a funny story, right? Like I said, one of my favorite pastimes is making girls realize that they're actually straight. One of my old sneaky links, right? Shorty was fire with it. She was dating a bike, and the bike was trying to be really serious about her. But she heard through the grapevine that I was on body game and I was putting in that work. Obviously, the bike can only put in so much work, right? Because the only thing that you could say a bike has over a dude that's on body game is literally not being a dude, right? So you got yourself beat there. But I'm pretty sure you can get better at eating box than a bike. Practice makes perfect. A bike doesn't have the right equipment, doesn't have the real equipment, so they can only do so much. That's why body game is important. Because I'd be damned if a bike with a fake pipe is putting in more work than me. There's bikes out here slanging more than dudes. That's crazy. The fact that a bike can exist and put on a strap and last longer, even though the strap ain't real, last longer than a dude, period, is absolutely absurd, and you fat niggas should be ashamed of yourself. But she heard I was putting in that work. She heard through the grapevine, and she got curious, right? I came through the joint one time, was wearing my tank top. She seen the muscles. She was going. I told Shorty, yo, let's kick it sometime. We kicked it at the spot. I told her exactly what was good. I said, this is what I'm trying to do to you. If you with it, cool. If you're not, that's also cool. She was like, damn, no one's ever been this straightforward with me before. Usually they beat around the bush, or they try to act like they're trying to do something and they try to do this. I said, I don't have time for games. I'm not no beat around the bush ass nigga. I said, I say directly what I'm trying to do, and if you're not with it, cool. I don't have time to waste. So she said, yeah. I didn't pressure it, nothing. I just said, look, this is what I'm trying to do to you. If you with it, cool. If not, whatever. And she was like, yeah. So obviously I wasn't trying to push nothing to go for right there and then. I was just setting the shit up in motion. So fast forward probably about a month later, right? Things between her and the bike get a little difficult. She and the bike not seeing eye to eye. Gears are switching and the chain is coming off the bike. So that's where I step in. I'm like, hold up. I used to pop wheelies back in the day. I know a thing or two about what bikes do. So I slid in there. And it's crazy how this actually happened, right? Because I was supposed to go to a function with one shorty, but at the last minute, she talking about she got some homework and shit she need to do, which sounded bogus to me. So I said, I ain't even stunting that. I hit up shorty that was dealing with the bike, and I said, hey, you trying to go for a ride? She's like, yes, just push up and scoop me. In the same whip, on God. I pulled up and scooped shorty. We went to the function. Function was straight. It was alright. Solid outing. We in the function. I'm still there, chilling, enjoying myself. We socializing. And then she starts saying, so when we gonna leave? I'm like, oh, you trying to go? So I said, hey, we're gonna slide in a few minutes. A few minutes turned into like 20 minutes because other shorty was like talking to me and shit, being in my face. She came back around. She's like, so when we leaving? I said, you know what? We can slide right now. Told the other shorties, y'all be easy. We're gonna be up out of here. They looking at me sideways because they have a feeling like they know it's finna go down. Me over there, I'm playing it like I'm a saint. I could do no such thing. I told shorty, look, what you trying to do? I can bring you back to the spot or you can come over to the spot. She said, I'm ready to go home. I said, all right, cool. We started driving towards her spot. It ain't about 5 minutes past before she says, how far is your house from here? I said, my house is 10 minutes from where we are right now. I said, do you want to go home or are you trying to come over? She said, I don't know. I said, all right, I'm going to just take you home because if you don't know, you're not finna come over to my house and not know what the fuck going on. So I started driving toward her spot. And she's like, is your house this way? Bro, I stopped the car. I said, look, my house is that way. Are you trying to push up? She's like, yeah. I said, all right, bet. We go to the house. And there ain't too much left to be explained. The bicycle narrative was dismantled. The bike came from Walmart and I dismantled it and I sent that bitch back in the box. I packed it up. So after that event, brought shorty to her spot. I got back home. Not too long after I got back home, she hit my phone. She said, it was good. I was like, oh yeah, I got your attention now. And after that, the block was spun multiple times, right? And it even got to the point where we had to spin the block at the place of employment. When you on BodyGame, bro, shit gonna get out of hand. Shit gonna get crazy. A lot of dudes gonna try to discredit this shit because they're not on BodyGame. I'm telling you, bro, this is the side effect of being on BodyGame, right? It can be the main effect if your goal is to get chicks, but it's gonna be the side effect if you're just trying to better yourself overall. Shorty spinning the block. One day, we at the place of employment. The bike comes in through the door. I finally see the bike in person. I look the bike up and down. I'm thinking to myself, bro, this scrawny ass bike ain't putting in no type of work. It can't come close to me. This bike is not picking up shorty, tossing her in the air, doing no type of work, nothing like that. And soon after that, we spun the block a couple more times. She almost got caught by the bike because the bike was blowing up her phone, talking about some where you at. So I had to give her a little script and tell her that, oh, you took some pills and you was tired and you just passed out. You passed out all right. but it wasn't from no pills. And you just woke up and you just now get into your phone. She had to sell the script a couple of times before the bike finally bought it, but it is what it is. Moral of this video, moral of the story, bro. We are in a lack of masculinity crisis. Before all the body game shit, dudes is just not masculine. And as a result, chicks out here is left with no choice but to either pair up or pair off with each other, or settle for a dude with no spine, no backbone, and a big ass gut. That's a horrible, horrible fate, if you ask me. I actually feel sorry for chicks out here that's looking for solid dudes, because ain't too many to go around, right? Not too many out here. And when you do come in contact with them, you're gonna make some of them realize that they not actually into bikes. They just ain't had nothing real come around in a long time. They ain't know what it was until you show them what it was. So you gonna be on Body Game, you gonna steal chicks from bikes, and you might even make some bikes sneak dick, right? You know they got sneak dissing? Bikes be out here sneak dicking, right? So what Future say, I can see it in your eyes, you gonna go? I've been looking at some bikes, and they see a nigga on Body Game, and I see it in their eyes, they gonna go. I know they gonna reverse that strap real quick. They gonna go from giving to receiving. I ain't gonna go too much crazier in this video, gang. That's all I really have to say. When you on Body Game, you gonna make some chicks realize that they're actually straight. That's it for the video, gang. I'm out of here. Peace.